Hello guys, it's me, Stark. Someone just commented, "Hey Stark, I just watched your build of the phosphorus here, but I don't know how you would be able to make such uptime if you had a chicken map." And well, he does have a point. In the build that I recorded for that, I actually took one of the best scenarios, a scenario where I would have deers to lure, which means that I could maximize the food outcome on my TC. But that is not going to be like this every time. Sometimes you might actually have access to chicken maps, like this one. I cannot lure this to my town center. It's truly not something that I can do. So there are two options to deal with that scenario. If you are lower elo, you can actually go and send some villagers there to collect mid dark age, like we're doing in the other builds. Like, oh, I have 10 on the food. Just go there, send 4 views to take some of these hunts, then go back. So that's one way of dealing with this situation. The other one is the one that I'm gonna show in this video, which is the chicken funnel. Chicken funnel is basically a standard practice if you are playing here on a higher elo on closed maps where no one can disrupt you. So if you watch pro level games on Arena, for example, you are going to see that players are going to execute this the same technique every time they can, because it actually maximizes a bit their luring process. So how does it work? We actually want to make here buildings. We do not want to finish the buildings. I just placed the foundations here, okay? And the idea here is that with those foundations, we can actually force the chickens to go around our TCs. Look at this one. She wants to jump the fence, but in order to do that, he'll actually have to jump it. So that's basically the idea. Now let's make it work. Now that we have made this path, these units are gonna try to jump from one side to the other. And while doing that, they are actually gonna go around the town center. They actually walk with their walking path. They're trying to get from one side to the other. And since chickens cannot fly, neither does these other hunts here, they're actually gonna have to go around. The only adaptation that you have to make on your economy for that to work is actually placing villagers on the stagglers, like I just did here. So that's the only adaptation that you need for it to work. Else, your chickens and your rabbits are just gonna do the same thing here. As you can see, they just go slowly around. Why pros don't do this every game? Well, because your enemy can try to come here and attack your gates, attack your palisades, and disrupt your luring process. So that's the main reason why we do not see this every game. So how can you go around that? Well, you do the chicken funnel as soon as possible, and you can keep your own scout to scout fight against the enemy one. So it can actually protect you, your palisades. Or another small practice you can do is you can actually do the same thing here, but do at least half of the gate here, because the gate is the weaker building here, because it has like 0 melee armor. So is the palisade when you are have built just the foundations. So for example, if my enemy comes here and do a few bits here on my gate, it will probably go down, and that's not something that we want, right? That's truly not something that we want. That's the opposite of it. So that's the other idea. And of course, if you're still not comfortable with the build, what you can also do is to increase a bit your uptime. It's not gonna kill you to do like 1 or 2 more villagers than in the regular one. But still, accordingly to Phosphorus himself, who firstly introduced this technique on the AoE community, you can actually perform this chicken funnel, and it's about to save you something around, let's say, 1 minute from the regular way of eating chickens. So that's the idea here, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I think that we should just follow up the build to show that we are going to indeed reach Castle Age, but well, I bet you guys believe me, right? So let's click to the next stage. I'm gonna make a house already. Why? Because I'm Bengali. So I might need this house, because as soon as I reach the next stage, I'm gonna receive extra resources here. I'm also going to diversify my food sources here. Oh, by the way, once you finish the chicken funnel, what do? You select all these buildings that you didn't use and you delete them. This way, you just receive back wood refound. That's basically what just happened here. That's why we do not fully build that, because if we just used all this wood, it would just be better to drop a mill. And to be honest, guys, dropping a mill is also an option there. If you want to, you can use there a mill to eat the chicken and do the same build with like 2 more villagers than the regular one. So that's another small adaptation. Of course, why you do not see Phosphorus or pros doing that, or well, pros actually do not build Phosphorus so much unless they're specifically trying to go for it. But the reason is quite simple. You want to maximize your uptimes, you want to optimize your stuff, so you want to do the minimum amount of buildings necessary to execute the build. So I hope you guys enjoy it. That's basically the idea, and let's now follow for the build. We have 13 villagers here eating food. We have try to maximize its efficiency. Now let's go for market here and blacksmith. We're basically trying to get hold of these buildings. I don't know if I'll have enough resources. If not, I'm just gonna use the market to buy myself, for example, 100 extra food or something. So it's not so meaningful to do that. That's basically what I'm gonna do here, guys. Just gonna use the market to buy to sell my resources, buy 100 food, and click up. I do that. I buy. I have to sell more. I sell more. I click. Now that I click it, what I can do? I just need enough stone for a castle. I can go Revi here and send all the villagers to the stone, and this way I'm gonna drop a castle. If I was Phosphorus and I was playing that, this was probably my way of dealing with this situation. If I were actually playing on the ranked, that's how I would deal with the situation. I would just put everyone on stone. Stark, what if you get rushed on feudal age? Well, I could just complete my walls here, like this, or if I felt like I would be suffering some severe attacks there, what I could actually also do here is going for a tower on the stone and delay a bit my castle. But with a tower on the stone and 20 views on it, I doubt that the enemy would have any kind of army around like 12 or 13 minutes that he could use to take me down. So that's basically the idea here, guys. The build is about to get executed. I have seen Phosphorus doing similar stuff, especially when players overcommit to feudal age, and what he actually does is going for even like a second mining camp and a tower. And in this way, he's actually safe and sound to reach castle age and drop his castle. So guys, we just made here the chicken funnel as a tool of increasing our uptime and still execute the Phosphorus build. As you can see, all that we need to concern now about is where to drop our castle and how to collect our resources. We already have enough here from the enough stone, around like less than 40 minutes that we can use to drop our castle. We have already 27 views, which is insane, and the reason we have this amount of villagers is quite simple. We are Bengalis, so we just gained like 4 extra views. Let's make a house here. Send some guys already to the stagglers. I'm still collecting some stone. One thing that you can do to optimize this build here on the beginning, guys, is to collect a bit more stone. You can use this initial stone, you can still sell it, so that you have enough gold to produce your first units. That's something that I see Phosphorus doing a lot here. Let's go for a mining camp after we finish the castle. I don't need that much guys on the mining camp, I can just go back to the woods. And that's it, guys. I can now keep producing the ratas. Even if I idle time, which is not ideal, I'm still Bengali, so I'm like 4 villagers ahead against a regular civ. Or 3 villagers, for example, versus Mayan, maybe 3 to 2 against Chinese. So basically, I'm in a good spot. By the way, let's keep selling the stone so that we can produce stuff. We can even buy back some wood at some point so that we can keep producing farms. I would just need a minimum amount of farms here to keep my economy going. So we can either buy some food until we have this wood, or we just deal with some idle time. So far I have minimized that. I already have enough ratas to go there and play. If my enemy is on feudal age, I can add up mangonels or something. I can use this Revi amount of views on gold to buy some food until I have 6 farms that will just sustain my rural economy. And since that's a phosphorus build, guys, I'm not focusing so much on nickel upgrades. Alright, so far my TC is not gonna go idle anymore. It's just a matter of spamming non-stop. And there we go. Your phosphorus build executed. Making castle age before 14 minutes and managing to go for the castle age units before even in a map without deers. So that's an adaptation using the chicken funnel technique, a bit more advanced. I think that if you want to perform chicken funnel, the best maps for you to do it are maps where your opponent will most likely not be able to harass your dark age, and where you are not going to have any challenge doing that. There will be no scout, there will be no lambing, he won't disrupt you. There's like 0 chances that you are too focused at doing that and the guy will just go for, what can I say, drush or some other kind of lambing, and that's basically the idea. So in Arena, you are probably going to see every pro doing it on chicken maps. On Arabia, well, there are many other strategies which are not the phosphorus one. But if you want to go for the phosphorus build, this is probably the way to go. And there goes, guys, our castle and our TC will just keep working like forever with the amount of resources we have. I hope you enjoy it, and this was the chicken version of the phosphorus build.